I'm here to teach you that marketing does not have to be hard. It can actually be quite fun to do marketing. So let's dive in. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to throw in a bonus tips just for you guys. So the first strategy is to identify your ideal reader. And you can do this by creating a persona that represents the ideal reader for your book. So my book, The Escape, is a book that suits really, really well for parents and young adults who want to learn more about what it's like to escape from a different country. It's about a refugee that escapes from Iran to Sweden. He's only 14 years old and it's based on a true story. So it's also, not very thick. So it's perfect for people who want to try to understand other people, and also as a discussion opener for people in schools and so on. But what about you? Like, if you've written a romance novel or feel good, then your ideal reader is probably somewhere, I think here in Sweden at least, the target demographic for those kinds of books are females plus 30, somewhere between 30 and 45 years old, who's in the middle of their career and stuff like that. So if you want to create a persona around that, maybe, give her a name, give her an age, give her an occupation. What does she do? What's her interest? Because the more you know about your ideal reader, the better and the easier it will be for you to market your book to this person. And like, you want to know as much as possible about your ideal reader, like where do they hang out online and stuff like that. So let's say we have this romance novel again. In Sweden, we have a report that actually says like where different demographics hangs out online. So I know for a fact that a female around 35, she will hang out on Instagram primarily, and maybe even on Facebook, but primarily on Instagram. So that would be the place for me as an author to probably start an account and start marketing towards that persona. And let's say you'd write, nonfiction or whatever, then maybe it's actually better for you to see, like, if you've written a book about how to start with yoga, then where does people who's interested in yoga hang out? Is it on YouTube? Is there some magazine that you can like try to get an interview in? Because you want to be where your ideal reader is. Why, you wonder? Well, because if you can find your ideal reader for your book, that person will love your book. And if the person loves your book, they will recommend it to other people. And word of mouth is one of the most powerful things when it comes to marketing your book. So if you can find people who will love your book, you can even give your book for free to them. If they read it and they love it, they will recommend it to other people. And if they do that, more people will buy your books. So strategy number 2 is to know your genre. I think it was Stephen King that said that if you want to be a writer, you have to read a lot and write a lot. And I mean, I completely agree. And I think that it's really, really important that you read within the genre that you write. Why, you wonder? Well, because if you do that, then you will know what the reader expects from your genre. What's the promise of the book? Because if it's a thriller, then there has to be suspense, there has to be excitement. If it's not, it will fall flat and no one will recommend it. So the more you learn about how other authors within your genre actually like solve different problems and stuff like that, that is great. But also, if you read a lot within the same genre as your book is in, that will actually also, like, you can start to study those authors that you look up to and see what do they do to try to reach out to new people and promote to new people. I mean, if you want to write a thriller, like, don't look at Stephen King. He's already way too famous and he's he's his own brand and stuff like that. So look at someone a little bit smaller and see what they do to try and reach out, and how they, like, which social medias does that author use? Where do they hang out online? How do they work with promoting their own books? And, learn from them, become inspired. And also, like, writing a lot, of course, you have to do that. And you have to write a lot within your genre to learn how to master those, those tricks that is within different genres. Because there are a lot of things that we as readers want from the genres we read. And the better you become the better the book will be. So keep on going. Because writing is not, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I'm gonna do this for a long time. And if you want to be successful, like practice, practice, practice. I think this is so important. I actually have a friend, she will look at some of her favorite books and she will analyze like what is the suspense in this scene, and then she will actually like try to copy and try to learn how that author has used the writing tools and try to write write it by herself. Just like we did when we were children and learned how to write. We copied letters and stuff like that until writing became more natural. Strategy number 3 is to get reviews. Book reviews are so, so, so important for your marketing. And like, if you haven't launched your book yet, try to give your book away to potential, to some people you think will like your book as ARC readers. This is great because then when your book launches, you will hopefully have some reviews on that day. But also, like, ask people to actually give you a review. Ask family, ask friends, ask people on social media, because seeing that someone else has actually liked the book and recommends it, that gives potential readers proof that it's actually worth investing time in reading your book. So this is very, very important. And a lot of authors do this like pre-launch. They get reviews, they talk to ARC readers, and then after that, they just forget it and move on with their lives. That is not a good thing. Like, remember that book marketing and reviews, it's a long game, really, really long game. So keep on asking for reviews, keep on reminding people, and keep thanking people for leaving you reviews. Because reviews are, in marketing language, we call this social proof. So it's proof from someone else that will make us, potential readers more likely to read the book as well. You can use this in your marketing as well. Like, if it's a review online, make it into an Instagram post and say, this is what someone said about my book. That's great. Strategy number 4 is to plan for the long run. I cannot emphasize this enough. A lot of authors, they think that, oh, but my launch didn't go that well, or the first year, I didn't sell that many copies. Doesn't matter. It's a long game we're playing here. So keep on, plan for the long run when it comes to your marketing. Even if your book came out 7 years ago, it will still be new and fresh to the reader. So keep reminding people that it exists and keep on sharing things when it comes to your book. Like, what's the story behind the book? How did you end up writing it? Did you go on any research trips? For my book, The Escape, I actually traveled to some of the places that are in the book just to see it with my own eyes, smell it, and get into the right vibe, especially since it's based on true stories. So, but that is something I can use in my marketing, and I can talk to in a more organic ways that will actually add value to potential readers. And there we have the key. Keep adding value, keep giving things away, because yeah, that is how you win the trust of people. And another smart thing that you can do when it comes to book marketing is a book with the arrows and like prompts and what your book is about in that kind of way. That is also a fun way to share what your book is about. But keep on going for the long run, keep reminding people. And you can also say like, the book has been out for 2 years, stuff like that, just to remind people that it exists. And keep running promotions, paid and organic. And also you can have competitions and stuff like that. The sky's the limit, guys. And strategy number 5 is to build your audience. What do I mean by this? Well, as I said earlier, writing is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have to keep on building an audience over time. You can do this by writing more books. You can do this by being active on social media. You can do this by having a website. There are multiple ways to do this. Personally, I have this YouTube channel. I have a podcast with 2 friends. It's in Swedish though. I'm active on social media. And yeah, so as you can hear, I do a lot of things. I don't recommend that you try to do it all. Find one thing that you want to do and build your audience there, preferably where your ideal readers are, of course, but build your audience there over time and become an expert in marketing yourself. And yes, you can use, like, if you want to create a YouTube channel that is faceless, or an Instagram account where you never show your face, that is okay too, as long as you try to build up your own audience. And one thing that is super important when you do this, like my advice for building an audience is step number one, yeah, find your target audience. You already know this, but once you've done all of those things, choose one platform and try to become an expert. Experiment, post regularly, use scheduling tools so that it does not take too much out of your day, and learn. A lot of authors and people generally are, we're so afraid of failure. We're like, oh my God, what will people think? I'm gonna make a fool out of myself. You know what? No one cares. No one cares if you put out a YouTube video that is bad, because no one will see it. Because the algorithm will, make it go away. It will have like 10 views and people will have viewed it for 3 seconds. Thinking about that actually makes you realize that it's not that, it's not that scary, because the people around you, they will cheer you on, and some people might not even know that you're writing books or whatever. It doesn't matter. No one cares about your failures, and hopefully they will cheer you on once you start to grow successful. But don't be afraid of failure, and try to have what I call a growth mindset. And that means that everything I do, everything I put out there, I will go back to, look at the data behind it. Here on YouTube, I will look at the watch time. I will see where people drop off. I will see what thumbnails are working. I'm trying to learn all the time. So I don't see a video that does not perform well as a failure. Instead, I see it as a learning and growth opportunity. So all the time, I try to learn. I try to get better with everything. And you can do this too. Do this when you build your audience. Put stuff out there. See what works. Keep on doing whatever works and learn. Don't be afraid of failure, And another way to build your audience, so if you have a book series, like giving your book away for free on BookBub or something like that, that can actually be a great way to just get the first book in the series in the hands of readers. And once they've read it, they will want the next book and the next book. So that is also a way that you can build long-term relationships. And don't be afraid to try promotions and stuff. The goal is usually to, get as many readers as possible. And if they like the book, they will recommend it, or they will read the next book in the series. So keep going, keep trying. And now to my bonus tips. So the bonus tips I have is to, as early as possible, even if you haven't even published your book yet, start building your email list. Having an email list is one of the most effective ways that you can sell books in the long run. It's usually a lot more effective to send out to your email list that you've launched book than to post it on social media, because people who read your email, they're invested in you. And also when they open the email, they're tuned in on you and your content, instead of like going on other social media platforms. You're just there to, I don't know, blow off steam or get inspired or whatever. You're not leaned into whatever you're doing. So building an email list is honestly probably the best way for you to sell more books. You can start doing this by giving, free giveaways, having competitions, give freebies. I don't know. I'll probably do a video on this if you want to know more about how to start and grow an email list. But yeah, that's all the advice I have for today. If you like this video, it would be really helpful if you gave it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to learn more. Bye!